discussion. Would anybody like to begin?
Sure.
All righty.
First, I want to thank the superintendent and his team for putting together this information. Kelly, appreciate all of that. For cataloging the emails, because your tally matched with mine. There was an overwhelming, or a majority, who were in favor of changing the name. And I'd like to thank the public who took their time to be here tonight and to give us your input about this. Historically, Cesar Chavez was a great man. When our school district named the elementary school after Cesar Chavez, I think it might have been appropriate at the time because the information that we have now was not available then. I've been a union member since 1983, not farm workers, teachers. But the first thing I did when I retired was to become a lifetime member of my union. He did great things for us, but he did not do them alone. And so the arguments that we've heard about keeping the name as it is, mostly when I was looking through the emails and listening to public input, involved money, that it costs something to change this. I am a penny pincher, I agree. I don't like to spend money unnecessarily, but I believe this is a necessity. They argued we can't know whether it's true. It's been too many years. Perhaps we don't trust the accusers. The information which I read, the New York Times article and the research I did, suggested that it was clear that he was both a rapist and a sexual predator of children, that those allegations are not just unsubstantiated allegations. The argument to let sleeping dogs lie was also one we heard, that it's, we're not improving education by changing this. We just should let it go. And I think that although an attractive idea is not one that's very satisfactory, that we can't just turn our back on this and pretend that it didn't happen and just ignore. And so winking at this sends the wrong message. Girls who enter schools in Las Cruces Public Schools should know that we do not have a school named after a sexual predator. There are arguments about history versus taking a modern lens and looking back historically on people, and our values have changed over that time period. We've had slaveholders who were presidents. Slavery, do I need to say, is repugnant? But when Cesar Chavez was alive, the values that we have today were the values in place then. There was no societal acceptance of predatory behavior. And so the seriousness of the allegations, what I've read about the victims, is what compels me to believe that we should change the name of this school. It's inconsistent with our mission, with our values. There's an ethical imperative here which says we cannot wink at this. We have to change this name to support our students and stand behind the values that we say we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. Board members?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your comments, Vice President Wofford. I agree with everything you said, and it's going to be hard to add to it. But I know one of the respondents said something like, the past is the past. But I don't believe that people who have been sexually assaulted can ever put it in the past. They live with it all the time for their entire lives, and that's part of the reason why it's so horrible. And I can just imagine somebody who has experienced this, and the numbers that we hear about it are so huge. I can just imagine somebody driving down that road, you know, and seeing that name they get confronted by it probably maybe every day when they go to work. And all it does is remind them of what happened in their past. And they have to relive it every day. And that's just unacceptable. And, you know, we can't have a school named after a person who, and I understand, alleged, did these things, but I think there's pretty good evidence that that it's true, and we need to change the name of the school. Thank you.
Mr. Frick. Thank you. Anyone else?
I think you guys are making me do it.
No, not at all. Not at
No.
all.
I don't mind jumping in if you don't.
Oh, go for it.
Yes, I will echo the statements of my colleagues here on the board. There's a couple things that I think are really important to emphasize. 1 in 4 women in New Mexico are the victims of sexual assault. For us to do nothing and not recognize that by keeping this name on this school runs contrary to our values that the 3 of us were recently reelected on, right? We are a district that represents these values. This is our role. This is the decisions that we need to make. 1 in 4. It's a sobering figure. And I think it's the one thing that's, there's this spin, right, we're attacking Dolores Huerta. Cesar Chavez does not do what the Cesar Chavez does without Dolores Huerta. So we cannot sing the praises of Cesar Chavez over here and then knock Dolores Huerta. Yes, there is a lawsuit on her foundation. There's an employee that wasn't happy with her employment. It is a stretch of all stretches to connect that lawsuit to these allegations. They also really conveniently forget that there are 2 minors that came forward with allegations as part of this. It is never mentioned at public comment. 2 minors, 13 and 12 at the time of their attacks. And they all came forward. They came forward in the 90s. They came forward on a Facebook post, and they were silenced at every step of the way. So for us to sit here and say that we're not going, there has never been a path forward for us to keep this name on this school. I think to express contrary is to accuse us of being the ones that are politicizing this, I think is crazy. The folks that are arguing to keep this name are the ones, in fact, politicizing this. And what we do here matters. The values we put out in this world matter as a school board, as a district. So keeping this name on there runs, I mean, it's contrary to everything that I think we believe and fight for every day. So we cannot do that. So thank you.
Thank you, Secretary.
Why these girls? So the reason why these girls who turned into women did not say anything for 30 years or however long was because how big Cesar Chavez was, how big his legacy was, how hard and impossible it would be to speak against that and feel believed. And I think you have a 95, 96-year-old woman who's speaking up, not because she has something to gain, but because she has nothing to lose. It doesn't matter if you guys want to soil her name. She's telling the truth also to defend these young women who were underage girls, 13 years old, when they were sexually groomed and sexually abused, and you cannot defend that. And this is not politically ambitious of anyone. And this has nothing to do with Oñate, who was a monster in his own right. I think that's all I have to say. Oh, other than just add that the message is also for little boys as well.
I'm going to read a message that was sent to me by a friend, and I think that it conveys how I feel as well. She says, "Thanks for doing what you can to change the name of the school. It's a service to all the victims he left in his wake, a mark on behalf of the children, girls, boys, women, and men who have been assaulted by men who have never been held accountable for the damage that they have perpetrated. Fist in the air. Believe women. Thank you. All right, board, any other discussion?
I wanted to thank the SAC report and the discussion you had as well. I failed to mention that when I spoke. Thank you for your input on this. We appreciate what you have to say very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Annie. Anything you'd like to add?
I think that we did mention what the SAC thinks, and yeah, I think that reflects what we think as a group.
Ruiz and whoever else were involved in answering my questions, I would give him Post-it notes like, I want to know about this thing too.
I'd like to entertain a motion to remove the name Cesar Chavez Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Tenorio, seconded by Secretary Nolan. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? With the unanimous vote, we will be removing the name of Cesar Chavez Elementary School. Thank you all. Because we have taken this action to remove the name, Dr. Lozano or the superintendent?
Dr. President, board members of the
Thank
board.
you.
I'll invite Dr. Lozano up to, and Ms. Tara Favor, as well as our principal at Cesar Chavez, to really walk us through the process now that the decision has been made on the name changing, some of the timeline and other considerations around that. So I'll turn it over to the team.
Thank you, team.
Madam Dean, thank you for being here tonight. So prior to this board meeting, we did get with administration at Cesar Chavez. Thank you to Ms. Covarrubia. Work with her team just in case you did vote tonight in favor of removing the name, what the process would look like. So today, what we'll do is go over what her leadership team and her school community decided on what the best route would be to come up with the new name.
All right.